Clear your calendars and grab an ice cold drink. Oh, well, the summer months, they're fast approaching and Xbox is in for a busy one. Plus, with the Xbox Game Showcase right around the corner, things are about to get very exciting indeed. So let's dive in. Something for horror fans to kick things off with, Broken Law Follow is a first-person psychological thriller that explores the nightmares of social media. You'll be stepping into the shoes of Anne, and let's just say that her headspace isn't exactly a sunny place to be. It's more like a world where the monsters are manifestations of her own insecurities, which frankly is all a bit too relatable for a Monday morning. If you've been looking for a horror game that has something to say while scaring the bejesus out of you, this is your first stop from June 1st. It's finally happening, folks. Leaving the gloom of Midgar behind them, Cloud and the gang are back on Xbox from June 3rd. Bex is excited about that one. Well, this is the second chapter in Square Enix's 3-part remake of Final Fantasy VII, and Rebirth sees our heroes stepping out beyond the city walls into a vast, beautiful world with new stories and a combat system that blends melee action with meticulous strategy. It's an epic adventure in every sense of the word, and because it's Xbox Play Anywhere, you don't even have to stay glued to your TV. You could take Cloud wherever you like, or do cloud gaming, or yeah, that's probably enough. But June 4th has something for everyone, and if your idea of a good time is scrubbing some grime and knocking down walls to get a house on the market, the House Flipper Remastered Collection is here to satisfy your renovation itch. There sure is something genuinely therapeutic about transforming a total wreck into a dream home as you buy, repair, and remodel old and unloved properties just to turn a profit. The whole thing has been given a brand new lick of paint with updated visuals, voice acting, and fresh content, making it the perfect choice for when you want to switch off, grab a virtual sledgehammer, and get creative. But for cycling fans, June 4th marks the arrival of Tour de France 2026. Take on the best cyclists in the world and emerge triumphant on the Champs-Élysées. This year's entries features 100 playable stages, including the official route of the 2026 Tour. With improved AI, dynamic weather conditions, and plenty of customization options, right down to your choice of bike frame, expect an authentic, high-stakes climb to the top of the podium. But if ghosts are more your thing, the 7th Guest remake, also arriving on June 4th, is the long-awaited reimagining of an early 90s mystery classic. Rebuilt from the ground up, you'll be snooping around a spooky mansion owned by a mysterious toy maker, encountering the spectral remains of 6 guests who are invited for a night of puzzles and terror. Will you end up like them? Well, with a dark gothic vibe, it is the perfect way to experience this golden oldie. Speaking of remakes, the Gothic 1 remake brings yet another classic back to life. In this legendary RPG, you play as an unknown prisoner, arriving in a colony that's ruled by rival factions and brutal inmates. It's up to you to navigate the fate of a convict who must survive in a world that reacts to your actions, with NPCs and wildlife who follow their own daily routines, which you can then learn about and exploit. It also features an updated combat system that builds on the tactical roots of the original. Whether you're a seasoned Gothic pro or you're just jumping in for the very first time, your journey as a nameless hero begins on Xbox on June 5th. Also out on June 5th, Hollow Body is a survival horror inspired by the early 2000s classics. You play as Mika, an unlicensed black market shipper who finds herself grounded in the exclusion zone, an area described as 20 miles of death and decay sealed off by towering walls. You'll have to solve puzzles and manage your limited resources as you fight to find your missing partner and get out. Not exactly a standard day in the office then. You're looking for a much needed change of pace? Well, from June 8th, Solarpunk offers a relaxed, survival crafting experience set amidst a world of floating islands. This sandbox adventure lets you explore the skies in your very own airship, solo or with friends. Up in the skies, you're free to build anything from a simple shelter to a sprawling dream home, using a range of materials and decorations to make the islands your own. Keeping things green, you'll harness sunlight, wind, and water to power your base, using batteries to automate everything from resource gathering to watering crops. You can also call in favors with the wildlife. Treat your pigs well, and they'll dig up truffles for you. Seems like a good deal to me. They have no idea how valuable they are. Idiot pigs. But if you fancy something a little bit more culinary, June 11th brings us the charming Bistro. Available day one on Game Pass Ultimate, step into the shoes of Panko, a young chef running a diner where you'll be cooking up meals in various minigames. The dishes you serve will build your caretaker's deck, with each ingredient unlocking a new card. Once they've eaten, they'll venture out into the wilds to fight monsters, regaling you with tales of their journey upon their return, played out through equally charming puppet theatre sequences. It's a clever mix of restaurant management and tactical deck building, and you'll need to master your menu to help the village thrive against the beasts lurking outside. Oh, and it's also an Xbox Play Anywhere title, so you can flip burgers on your Xbox or your PC or your handheld and keep the cafe running while you're on the go. Also available day one on Xbox Game Pass, June 17th sees things getting fast and flashy with Dench Attack, a high-octane ride through a dystopian Japan where you'll be drifting and kickflipping a customizable train across over 50 levels. Yes, you did hear me right. It's all about skill, speed, and style as you outmatch rival gangs and rack up some high scores. It's not exactly your average commute, but ollie, kickflip, and grind your way through Japan's biggest cities, as well as a world of meadows, volcanoes, and oceans, racking up points and chasing that sweet high score as you go. Oh, and it's also an Xbox Play Anywhere title, so you can keep that momentum going wherever you like. But for those in search of another kind of rush, the rush of crime, Drug Dealer Simulator 2 gives you the means to build a criminal empire selling naughty substances. Here you'll be managing every stage of the business, from setting up labs and processing resources to expanding your distribution network and handling sales. You can also team up with up to 2 friends in co-op, splitting the responsibilities and your ill-gotten profits. Between outsmarting some rival gangs and keeping the authorities off your back, there's a lot to balance here. Oh, and all of it is highly illegal, but it is out on June 17th, if you're into that. But if you're in the mood for a charming throwback, The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales arrives on June 18th. And as the name might suggest, this action RPG from the creators of Octopath Traveler sees you stepping into the shoes of Elliot, an adventurer who lives in the kingdom of Hutha. Hutha? I don't know. Humanity's last bastion, basically, against the surrounding beast tribes. Alongside your fairy sidekick, Faye, you'll venture beyond the kingdom's magical barrier to explore mysterious ruins and embark on a journey across 4 distinct ages. That one is also on Xbox Play Anywhere. Love that. An arcade-inspired racer with a playful art style to boot, #Drive Rally feels like a real love letter to the golden racing era of the 1990s. You know, one where the cars have names as daft as their spoilers. Get ready to tear across the mud and asphalt in legendary rides, including the Doggo, the Bobond, and Das Holzwagen. You know, all the classics. Customize your ride from the ground up and add a co-driver into the mix too. They're going to act as both your cheerleader but also your harshest critic, depending on how well you harness those rally skills. So it's quite similar to having your best friend in the passenger seat. Anyway, it's out on June 18th. June 19th is the day to step into the ring for a proper brawl as EA Sports UFC 6 arrives on Xbox, boasting some seriously fancy motion capture tech, meaning your favourite fighters now look, move and fight like their real-life counterparts. And just sprinkle in some Frostbite-powered ragdoll physics and the damage reactions here really do pack a punch. Ooh. Add in all new game modes like Hall of Legends and The Legacy, which lets you experience the stories of UFC greats. You got one hell of a bust-up on your hands there, mister. Closing out a packed June lineup, Dead or Alive 6 Last Round lands on the 25th. And whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just eager to mash your way through a fatal rush for an easy, yet highly satisfying combo, the action here is as stylish as ever. This edition also features a brand new photo mode, which gives you a breather from pummeling your pals, just so you can snap your favourite characters, if you're so inclined. It is the definitive way to jump back into the world of Dead or Alive. Right, let's move into July and kick things off with a bang with Avatar Legends: The Fighting Game, which arrives on July 2nd and does exactly what it says on the tin. This 2D fighter is firmly rooted in the spirit of elemental mastery, featuring gorgeous hand-drawn animation that is true to the series' roots. Dive into a single-player campaign with an original narrative, or master a roster of 12 playable characters using the unique flow system for movement-centric gameplay. And because it's Xbox Play Anywhere, you can master your bending on console and then take your training on the go with your handheld or your PC. Ready to head back to the Caribbean, me hearties? On July 9th, we'll be setting sail in Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. It's time to strike fear in our foes once more as we board enemy vessels as Edward Kenway, captain of the Jackdaw. This classic entry in the franchise has been lovingly rebuilt for an enhanced combat experience that emphasizes parries and takedowns, while stealth and parkour have been improved for smoother assassinations. You'll also be able to upgrade your ship to face down powerful enemy vessels. Not only that, but you'll also find new story content dedicated to fan favourites like Blackbeard and Steve Bonnet. Pre-ordering nets you the Blackbeard's Crimson Pack, which includes a new costume, a sword and pistol for our intrepid pirate hero. I'm gonna do it. Yarr! In the mood for something a bit more atmospheric? Well, Detopia arrives on July 14th. In this gentle-paced puzzle adventure, you take on the role of the newest facilitator in a world that's curated by AI to ensure the maximum happiness for its residents. Your job is to solve puzzles and maintain the facility to keep that utopia running smooth. It's also on Xbox Play Anywhere. If you're in need of a bit of cosmic horror to cool down the July heat, and hey, we all have our ways of coping. I think I'd go for a Calippo, but you do you. The Mound Omen of Cthulhu arrives on July 15th. This action adventure sends you off into a cursed jungle where you must manage your sanity while facing off against diabolical creatures. Inspired by the stories of H.P. Lovecraft, it features 4-player co-op, so you don't have to face the supernatural horrors alone. Unless your mates ditch you. Oh, and as an added bonus, it's another Xbox Play Anywhere title as well. Coming in with arguably the best title in this entire video, this one is for the retro lovers, because out July 16th, 70s style robot anime Geppy X is a 2D side-scrolling shooter that has never been released outside of Japan until now. It's a love letter to classic mecha anime, and it features a staggering 8,000 frames of hand-drawn animation restored from the original master tapes, now running at 24 FPS with optional upscaling. With quality of life improvements like rewind and save states, it is the perfect way to experience this once-lost classic. Capping off the month with white-hot shooter thrills on July 30th is Truxton Extreme. This 80s arcade icon gets a modern upgrade and is now fully rendered in 3D while still preserving its legendary design, including those iconic insect-like alien faces with their writhing metal tentacles, long mechanical serpents, glowing eye-light lights, and spikes. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. You can play through the story mode too, which features an animated manga series, or team up with a pal in local co-op. Either way, it is pure arcade bedlam. On top of some big new releases, you can also expect updates aplenty throughout June and July, starting with Blood West Scavengers on June 3rd, which brings the long-awaited endless roguelite mode to Blood West. See how long you can survive as you meet familiar friends and old foes in the never-ending, weird Wild West. Dave the Diver heads inland on June 18th with In the Jungle, which introduces a brand new ecosystem, a fresh story arc, and new tropical species to catch, as well as new jungle-themed dishes to serve up at Bancho Sushi. And if that's not enough for you, Summer Game Fest kicks off on June 5th, followed by the unmissable Xbox Games Showcase on June 7th. Expect massive reveals, world premieres, and a deep dive into the future of Xbox, including the Gears of War E-Day Direct immediately following the main show. Skip it at your peril. Of course, we'll be here covering every announcement and trailer as they happen, and as ever, stay tuned to Xbox On for more as we hear it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!